Hey guys, we're back today for video number 2 of the Sunseeker 26cc multi-tool versus the Ryobi RY253SS. Today I'm going to show you how to connect the rods to the power heads, and I'm going to show you how to string the weed eater line, attach the guide handle and the grass shield, and then we're going to do some weed eating and we're going to do some brush cutting. Connecting the weed eater shaft to the power head is very simple. You've got your little spring button there, and what we're going to do is simply grab our power head. You can see it's got the holes in it right there, and we will orient the weed eater wand in the correct position. Slide it in. Our little, I wish the button was on the other side, but there it is. And then you just turn and you're connected. Let's make it tight, not over tight, but tight enough. The Ryobi connects basically the same way. You've got your connector here. There's where your spline has to fit in there correctly. It's a square spline. So we'll go ahead and connect this. There's your little spring button right there. So what you want to do is orient it the correct way and just slide it in there. Pretty simple. And you just tighten it up and you're ready to weed eat. Connecting your handle is very simple. You're gonna take out these 4 screws. You're gonna use the smaller Allen wrench there, and then you're gonna disconnect the handle. It's gonna have this rubber grommet in there, so you're gonna place that on the weed eater wherever you feel like you need to have this in terms of your arm length. Then you're gonna come under there with this. It's just got some indentions in it. It'll line up perfectly with this right here, this little indention in there, that area. And you're gonna put your top on and line up your screws, and you're good to go. All right, for the trimmer guard, you got your 2 holes there. You got your screws that are already be pre-mounted. You're just gonna connect those together, line them up, and screw them in. You're gonna need the bigger Allen wrench on this to tighten these down. So here's the trimmer head, and I gotta say, it's kind of a pain to string. So it's a speed trimmer, so I mean a speed loader, so you put your line through there, equal parts line on either side, and then you turn this to wind it up. But you got to make sure that you got the cap turned correctly so you see that hole through there. What I'm going to do is take this off. I'll grab some trimmer line down here. This is the pain part for me, because you got to run it through here, and I found that it diverts to either side. So let's see if we can do this and get this correct. See, it wants to go over there, wants to go over there. You can put your finger underneath and kind of use it as a guide to get down through there, and then it wants to hang. I mean, the Wild Badger brush cutter trimmer, loading it, if they would have put that kind of head on here, it would have been so much easier. I mean, see there, so I'm gonna have to try to put my finger on this side to get it to go through the hole there. You just got to get it in there just right. I mean, if you had straight trimmer line, it would be no problem, but you know what? They don't make straight trimmer line. It's all curved. All right, so once you get it in there and you get it pulled, you know, half and half, you know, maybe 4 feet on one side or 4 feet on the other. I normally don't go near that long because it seems to bind up on the reel here. All right, once you get it kind of like that, then it gets simple. All you do is line up your edges like that and you're good. I mean, you're ready to wind this up now, and that's all you do. It's just that simple. You're winding the string onto the reel here. We're going to attach the trimmer head now, and you're going to need these two pieces. You're going to need that piece and that piece. And you're going to need your Allen wrench. One thing about this one, though, is on either side of this, you can place your Allen wrench because there's going to be a hole there for you. All right, when you turn this, there's a hole there, which is awesome. Normally, weight eaters just come with one that I've seen, and then there's the other. So that's kind of neat. I like the idea of that. What you want to do is put your washer right there, and we'll get this started. Okay, and then to tighten it up, we'll just stick our Allen wrench down in the hole and tighten it up from there. All right, and we're ready to do some weed eating. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and prime it 10 times with the primer bulb that's just right there, right underneath there. And then we'll set the choke. And we'll give it a couple pulls, and then we'll set the choke to start, or set the choke to run. I'll be perfectly honest, that was way better than I thought it was. That felt very, very strong. I didn't anticipate that, and I'm very pleased with it. Well, let's give the Ryobi a try. Remember, this thing's 2 years old. You have to prime it. There's the throttle button, and then there's your choke and throttle mechanism. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get this thing to crank. Let's go ahead and put our brush cutting blade on there. Doesn't matter which direction it goes, it's sharp on both sides. It's not like a Forester blade or, you know, one blade that has to go in a certain direction. You can put this on in any direction. So you're going to need your scrunch. You're going to need your nut and your washer here, and you're going to need your large Allen wrench. So we're just going to go ahead and take the trimmer head off. Okay, let me turn this where you guys can see what we're doing here. Put this back in there. I wanted to show you this arbor is where the blade rests. So put this on, get my hole lined up, put my Allen wrench in there, put the blade on, and we'll go back and put this on there. And then we'll put our nut on there to lock it all down. Just keep in mind this thing turns backwards. So we'll go ahead and put this on the Ryobi as well. And we'll see which one cuts the best. All right, when you get it all locked down, it should be on there, you know, snugly, and should be able to rotate slightly, but nothing should be loose in the assembly here. Everything should be tight. All right, let's cut some brush. I'm going to go ahead and put on our cutting blade for the Ryobi. Same process as before. You find your hole, put your little stop in there, and then screw off your trimmer head. I prefer to use blades like this. I prefer to use these solid blades, not the blades with the little fan sticking out. It's just not my thing. Plus the blade that comes with the Sunseeker unit seems a little thin, a lot thin to me. But we're going to go ahead and stick it on here and see how it performs. All right, let me spin it around for you guys so you can see this side. I'll go ahead and put our washer on there. Then I'll put our cap on and then our nut. Okay, that's a real toss-up right there. The blade that came with the Sunseeker worked really well on the Ryobi, and I think I understand why. It's because I left the guard on the Sunseeker when I was trying to brush cut, and everybody knows that. I mean, when you're brush cutting, you want to get the blade to the brush with no impedance, and that guard's fine for weed eating around the house. But when you're in tall weeds, thick grass, brush, that guard is just going to get in your way. I would advise you to wear, some sort of facial protection. But it's a toss-up. That blade worked well on the Ryobi. Worked really well. The Ryobi seems to have a lot more RPMs. The Sunseeker, to me, feels like it's got a lot more torque, a lot more power in that power head. The Ryobi is lighter. Sunseeker is, it's heavier. It's not heavy enough that you actually need a harness, by no means. But it is heavier than the Ryobi. The Ryobi just feels so much lighter, but doesn't seem to have the power that the Sunseeker has. So I'm still, I don't know what to say. I'm kind of torn here. I like the power of the Wild Badger. Sunseeker, I like the power of the Sunseeker. The Ryobi's lighter. Ryobi's got more RPMs. Sunseeker has more torque. So we'll just see how things go on the next video, which will either be the hedge trimmer or the pole saw. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, be safe and don't get shit.